Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, welcome to my stream, welcome to what I'm hoping to be the final chapter in building this guy right here. Also him happens to be there, ding 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 ding. Yeah, this guy, the Su-35S Flanker-E by Great Wall Hobbies, 1/48 scale. I'll roll the intro and we'll get right into it, okay? Just about done. As you can see, well, yeah, it's just looking pretty good. I spent some time doing some weathering on it last time, off camera. I used my AK interactive panel liner. This one happens to be for gray and blue camouflage. Hey, guess what we're working with? Gray and blue, right? Perfect. Lay this stuff out. You guys have seen me do this before. You lay it all out all over the panel lines and you kind of wipe it off clean with a little bit of the odorless thinner, also known as white spirits. It doesn't attack the paint underneath, it only removes this stuff, the enamel, so that's great. Clean it all up as much or as little as you want. I put some decals down and I've laid a flat clear over 90% of it. I kind of didn't really do too much of the flat clear over the engines. I want to keep that nice kind of a sheen on this parts anyway, but this parts I wanted to be more of a flat because they are more flat in pictures and stuff like that, so I wanted to replicate that. Obviously I don't have my tail fins on because I wanted to be able to get in there with the flat clear and the decals and stuff like that, so I still have them. They are dry now, they're ready to be installed, but I will do that in a little bit. Basically this is the last part of my build. He's all together. I got lots of nice little dirty bits going on underneath here and variations. Again, I kind of kept the shininess on here, but the rest of it is all flat. And yeah, we are basically done. One thing I do like is that the engines, they do get they're a little sticky, but the thrust vectoring does actually work on them, and that is a nice little factor. So I kind of putting them, they say in the instructions to have them kind of pointed down and inward towards each other in the parked position. So yeah, I'll kind of leave them like that, and yeah, I'll keep them kind of cockeyed. They look a little funny like that, but if that's how they leave them when they're parked, then that's what I'll do. I have noticed it does kind of want to sit on its butt sometimes. If I put the tail fins on, this guy will do this and sit on his bum. But I did do a test. If I put the radar on the nose and then put the nose cone on, it does kind of want to sit level. And so, but I think what they've done is it's a really fine balance. So what I'm going to do before I put the nose cone on, I'm going to grab one of my little stainless little nuts that I use in my paint bottles like these. I put one of these little stainless steel nuts in there instead of a ball bearing. And because the reason I do that is because if you put a ball bearing in there and then you shake it, the ball bearing can get stuck right in that tip there, and we don't want that. So I put a nut in there, so now you can shake that around and it agitates the paint real good. But I'm going to put a nut in the nose cone. I got just about 20 minutes ago I painted that flat clear. So I'll put a nut in the nose cone there, and there's lots of room for it anywhere you want. Just kind of drop it in wherever, and that'll be good enough. I think that'll just kind of tip the scale, sort of, per se, in getting it to sit on there properly. Okay. For now, I've done all my spraying and everything that's done, so I can finally do some removal of the tape and see if I've had any paint leak through here. Hopefully not. No, it looks pretty good. Looks like a success. Okay. The radar's going to go on right here, like that. So I will actually put that in there, even though it's never going to be seen because this is going to go over top of it like that. It's never going to be seen, but it actually does add a little bit of weight, and so I am going to be putting that on. So let's do that right now. The other thing I've got to do is just going to make sure I got this in the right orientation here. Which way is up? There we go. It's got that little notch. It's got a little notch right there at the tip. Let me change the camera so you can see what I'm doing better here. It's got a little notch right at the top of this there. That goes up, okay? So that goes at the top. It just fits in right in there. See, there's a little notch right there. That's where it goes, okay? Just like that. Okay? So, let's put some glue on our little pins. And maybe a little around the edge. Just to make sure. I don't think I need to worry about it too much, but there we go. She's in. That's her new home. For the nut, I think I'll just use a little CA glue. I'll put some CA glue on the nut and then just kind of drop it in. I can't put it right on the tip here because she won't fit in. The tolerance is a little too tight. So I'm going to just put some CA glue in my little thing and then just kind of dip the nut in there and drop it in. And then wherever it happens to land in the tip of that's good enough. Alrighty. I could also use, I've got 5-minute epoxy, I could just dip it in there, but I don't want to have to mix stuff up, so I'll just grab onto this like that and kind of dip them in there. Get some. Now he's all nice and wet, and drop. And he can just sit in his new home in there, let that cure, and call that done. Just like that. Okay, I'm just going to, I don't need any more CA, so I'm just going to soak this up. I do this all the time with my little thing, just so I don't get extra thick layers of CA glue in my little container. Okay, so that being done, this now is probably, yeah, the nut's going to stay in there now. So this guy, which way does he go? There's a little notch it fits into. I've done many times. There we go. Just like that. Okay. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this little lip, and then I'll use some extra thin on the around the outside. There we go. It is kind of a tight fit, but that's all right. It's kind of what you want. Some extra thin here. I'm just gonna hold this guy like this. couple of little extra drops. There we go. Okay. You might notice my nose cone kind of looks like it's a different color. It's actually the same color, but I've weathered it a little bit different, and so that's why I've got that little slight variation in the tone. As much as some photos I see the cone looks like it is the same color, in other photos it looks like it's different. So I'm not concerned about the fact that it looks a little bit different. That's fine to me. As far as accuracy, it's really hard to tell what's accurate and what's not. There's lots of variations on this plane, so I think either way you go, you can argue the point that it's going to be correct. We've got our pilot seat there, or ejection seat, depending on what you want to call it. Put some glue on the tabs, and he can be in his new permanent home. There we go. Seat is in. Now we have our canopy that's been waiting patiently to go in. Fits just like that. This guy is going to sit in like that. Doesn't really... I was having this issue before, right? It doesn't really want to sit down all the way like this. I'm tempted to glue it, because if I let go, it's going to sit. It wants to kind of sit up. It's actually sitting nice now for a change, but before it wasn't. Anyway, I think maybe it's just a matter of getting it in the exact spot it's supposed to be, and then it'll behave. Let's get this guy down. I like to use my extra thin quick set for canopies. Turn this around just for my own ease of use. Make sure it's there in the spot he's supposed to be. Alright, sorry, I realized I just did that all off camera. I did not mean to do it off camera, but that just happens to be the way it happened. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, that is that. Let's turn our bird around again. I have... Looking at the instructions, you know, we've got all this done, right? Obviously, this is sitting here like this. That's all complete. I don't want to put this, I don't know what they call this, the hydraulic part that's supposed to go there. It seems to be a little bit of a... It happens to be just a little bit, I don't know, I think it's going to interfere. This is this guy here. He's supposed to go right here, okay? supposed to go right here. Get in there. Gotta make sure the nose is still glued. This guy. Goes right there. Okay, fine, I'll use my fingers. There. Okay, so it goes like that. And yeah, now I can't put the canopy down, right? This thing is supposed to be if you want to have the canopy up. So, but I don't like having my canopy open. So he's not going to go in there. The canopy's going to go down like this, and that's going to be his home, and that's where he's going to stay, just like that. Okay, so I will not be using this guy. This guy is going to go in the garbage. Okay. But if you want to display it with the canopy up, then that's what you would do. Not going to glue this guy on, so I'm going to leave him off to the side. After the canopy, we've got a couple of little bits to put on the sides here. I-20 and I-21 are parts that get put onto the sides. I probably should have done this long before painting. Would have been a smarter thing to do, but that's okay. So I'm going to grab my eye tree. It really is just little tiny bits and pieces that need to get put on. All those little things that get broken off in time. So I-20 and 21 are these two little guys that I'm pointing out with my finger. Okay? And they're supposed to go in these two little divots at the top here. I realize I forgot to do this. How long have I been streaming for? Let's just do that. Okay. There's one. I'll let it drop on the plane there. Two. Okay. Tiny little bits. I believe these are air velocity tubes. For judging your airspeed, I think. I could be totally wrong, but I think that's what they are. A little bit of glue there. And into his little home right there. Okay, let's grab the other one. They are the kind of thing that is very easy to lose, very easy to drop them, and then they're gone. Sorry, my head is going to be in the camera now as I look around this side to get them in this home. This one doesn't want to fit into a slot as neatly as the other guy. There we go. I'm going to have to add a little bit of glue onto this guy. So those guys are in on their little spots, there and there. It is kind of humorous. The picture they show for I-21 is really not what it looks like. It should look like this. This is what they both look like. 20 and 21. This is, I don't know what the heck they're trying to do there with that picture there. And that's about it. Next we've got, if you're doing your landing gear up, you put your bay doors on, all 6 of them, 2, 4, 6, and then we go on to missiles and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to take my plane, I'm going to put them off to the side, put them over here, and we're going to deal with missiles today. Okay, in particular, I've already taken these 2 things off, these guys here. These go on our wingtips. Okay, now obviously I don't have these painted color of the plane yet, so I've got to do that. I've got to take care of that. Okay, and we've got missiles and pods. I'm going to deal with the pods first, because my missiles, the Russian missiles, are many different colors and everything like that. So let's take a look at our D tree. I have my Ds over here. These are all of our mounting pods. Some of them have little balls on them, some of them don't. There's just a lot of cleanup that needs to be done on these. That's those. This. Looking at reference photos, these pods don't necessarily conform to being the same color as the plane. It's like what I've seen online is that these guys are all the same color regardless of the ordnance and regardless of the camouflage. So that being said, I am going to paint these guys all the same color. Okay, let's get all my little balls in the garbage. And the other thing I want to do, of course, each side, like let's take this guy for example. This side goes onto the wing, and this would be for the missile, right? So I want to make sure before I paint it, I want to get this nub off of this and so get it cleaned up so that I can get access to this side of the pod. So, for example, let's take this guy here. I'm going to get that off of there and there, and then I'm going to do this. Now I've got complete access to the bottom of this. It's going to be a lot easier to brush paint or to paint it, to airbrush it, all that fun stuff. And I'm going to try and do that with each one of them. Obviously with this one I can't just remove it, but I can trim that away. Now I've got access to it, right? While maintaining the integrity of the sprue. So yeah, it takes a little bit of time to do this, but the fact that I'll be able to actually get in there is going to be better. Let's flip this around. Now it actually looks like this goes on top of this. So there's these double-edged let me just take a look. I think that's what goes on here, is we get two go together. So this one goes on the missile, and we get options, I guess. Oh no, because we got 4 of them. This one goes onto the missile. This one would go onto this. Let me see here. Which ones actually go onto the wings? Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. So you put these onto the missiles. Put these onto the missiles first, and then you attach these ones, which actually mount onto the wings. And of course, it all depends on what ordnance you want to do. You can either do all these types, or you do these types. And then of course we've got different variations on the wing tips. You can either put this big pod or this missile on either wingtip. I don't know which ones are actually accurate for the Russians. I really have no idea. For their weapons loadouts, I would like to do a bit of variation, like maybe 2 of these guys and then 2 of these guys, that kind of thing, and then 2 of these. I mean, we got 4, such a variation of pods we can do. D-17, they go onto the bottom of these, but looking at the actual bottom of our plane, oh yeah, we've got a hole here and here for our pods. Okay. Unlike the wings, where you've got 2 holes on each for each pod, there's only 1 hole here, and that's it. There's no hole back here. It's only 1. D-17. Which one is 17? Yeah, 17. We have 2 holes, but on the actual plane there's only 1. So I'm going to be trimming one of those tabs, obviously. Interesting. Okay. And it's not even flush. It's not flat. It's got a little bit of a lip here, and then goes back down. And even on the bottom there's a little pin right there. Not sure what that's all about. Anyway, I'm getting a little too involved here. Unnecessarily worrying about too much stuff. I'm probably even doing this unnecessarily. Probably never going to see these spots, and it's not necessary at all to do all this. Probably. Okay. So I'm going to fire up my air compressor, because these I've already primered. I've already primered all of them, so I don't have to worry about that. The color I'm going to paint them all is going to be we're going to go with the German light blue. I'm going to do this guy here. Okay. So they're all going to be the same. It's going to look a little bit different than the rest from the rest of the plane because there's going to be no weathering. I'm just going to do the straight light blue on them, and then that's how they're going to stay. I'm going to leave them like that. So let's get this ready. I don't think I need a lot of paint just to paint my pods. The challenge is going to be this guy here. I think I'm going to maybe set him down like this so I can get the top really nice. I can't really grab him with a clip. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to get my alligator clip. I'm going to get some blue tack. Get a little piece of blue tack here. Let's put him there. And then I think I want to get this edge, so maybe like this. There we go. Now I can get that edge in there, and that should work good. Okay, I'll put him over there. Yeah, yeah, really. Get another piece here. Another clip. Let's put them this way. And then there we go. That actually is not going to work. There we go. That'll work. Okay, we'll see how long that lasts when I actually start getting some air flowing on it from the airbrush. Okay, just like before, I got to use the Vallejo airbrush flow improver to get this stuff to mix nicely. So I'll put a little bit in my cup there. I want to do a roughly 50-50 mix. Something like that. Let's mix it up. I think that should be fine. I won't bother. I don't have my painting camera set up. So, and this is only going to be a minute anyway, so. Just rig it. I don't think it's a super concerned about the combination. I get a little bit of variation and that's it. So there we go. Now you see it's now a little bit different shade. It's got a little bit of blue, slightly light blue tint to it. And that's really what I need. And I put that in this one. So it's good. Blue tack. Get my tack. Strikes here. And nice. Just realized something I could do so you can see a little better. Let's see this. There. I can see a little better. This is not changing camera. You can see a little better. These 8 or 10 beats, like, it is easy to build up. First coat is covered with. So Alrighty, that's all done. And as you can tell, I'm getting a little bit of tip drying. Let me change this back here. Getting a little bit of tip drying because I got bubbles. That's a perfect example of tip drying, which means I didn't do enough. I didn't put enough of the. I didn't put enough flow improver in there. Because the flow improver acts as a retarder and prevents that tip drying, right? Because then it literally doesn't dry in the tip. Anyway, guys, this is pretty much it, really. The only thing left to do is to paint all the missiles and assemble them all, and then just put them on the wings, and then I'm done, right? That's it. It's really not much. I will show you guys, before I go, I'll show you guys all the missiles that comes in this kit. I think we did back in the first episode, we kind of went through them all. Great Wall Hobbies, they put them in this nice little box. For the most part, one-piece missiles. I haven't even really pulled them out of here. They're not primed, I haven't primed them yet. So really, that's just a one-piece missile that just needs paint. It's really all it is. There's this one, then we have this. We got 4 of each kind here. We got this one here. Okay, this guy here. It looks like a variation of a AIM-9X. It's kind of what it looks like. But anyway, that one, and then finally, this is the only one that's 2-piece. You have to put this on this guy on the end of him, and then that's it. That's really all it is. So really, that's all there is to this. That's all that's left to do, is to put these on, get these all painted up, and then put them on the pods. Put the pods on the wings, and that's it. And that's really it. And that's why I'm not going to bother going through all of that on this to show you guys, which is why I said earlier this is the final episode in this. I will, however, once I've got it all complete, I will take some still pictures and I'll put it up on my Instagram like I always do. But yeah, that's it. This plane is done, except for, I obviously gotta put these guys back on, but you guys saw me put them on before, and yeah, you know how they look. So yeah, that is where I'm gonna end it for today, guys. I think my next project is gonna be a 4-wheeled version of something. I haven't quite decided. I have in mind my next project, but I'm not 100% on it. I'm more like 90% on it. Yeah. Thanks, airplane. Yeah. I think I know what I'm doing next. I'm just not 100%. 90, 95% I think I know what I'm doing. But yeah. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you for watching, and thanks for coming out. And yeah, like I said, there's really just put on the final little bits on our bird, and she'll be done. Yeah, basically put these on but with glue, and then she's done, right? Yeah. Anyway, guys, please hit that subscribe button down below, and then we'll get to working on our on my next project with my fiance and get those 2 Porsches built. And once I get to 1,000, so yeah, that's why I keep asking. Hit that subscribe button. We get to 1,000 and do that. Nice collaboration with my fiance. And thanks, guys. I know it's that really kind of timeless stage between Christmas and New Year's, but thank you all for watching, and thanks for the support, and we'll see you all in the next one.